How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today I have a pretty special announcement. We actually passed 500 subscribers. That's really great, and obviously I want to give you guys a big thank you. We passed it a little bit ago, but I wanted to make sure because the YouTube subscriber number kind of fluctuates up and down a little bit. I just wanted to make sure we'd clearly passed it. And overall, I'm really excited, and I really can't believe it. And obviously, I want to start out this video giving you guys a huge thanks. You're the reason we passed this number. If you've liked, if you've commented, if you've subscribed, even if you just watched, that's all stuff that, YouTube takes into account when it wants to show more people videos. And you guys really do help the channel out, and I want to give you guys a big thank you. The people on YouTube have been really surprisingly nice, which is great. The mean comments are few and far between, and I really do love when someone comes in and they, have something to say about whatever movie I'm talking about. It's just, that's why I made the channel, because I like talking about movies, and I love that kind of interaction. And yeah, this is really great. Me and my brother started this channel a little bit ago, and the reason I make these videos is I just really like talking about horror movies, and I needed an outlet for it. In real life, you don't necessarily have a bunch of people that you can talk to about movies, and having the internet was a great way to, get all my thoughts together, put them out there in one place, and then have them accessible to just whoever wants to hear it. And that's what I wanted to do, was talk about movies. I use the word review, and I feel like when some people hear review, they expect you to, dissect the movie, really dig into the little points and really critique it or something. But here, I just wanted to be like a guy talking about the movie. I say review because that's technically what it is, and that's what everybody knows it for, but I wanted it to be more just like a looser chat about the movies, almost like a mini podcast. I wanted these reviews to just be like if you and your friend had saw a movie, the conversations you would have afterwards, and not just trying to dig into the finer points. And I hope that's what I'm doing. I do have a few reasons why. Other than that, obviously first and foremost, it's because I wanted to talk about movies, but there are other reasons. For example, I wanted to talk about older and more obscure films, with a lot of YouTubers, the people that are doing this, trying to start a business, which I totally get, but they tend to only talk about the newer films. You look up any film, small and obscure, if it came out after 2010, there's a million YouTubers talking about it. But I wanted to talk about older things that not necessarily everyone had talked about. There's no reason to talk about this movie now, but I feel someone's got to. Like, whenever I watch a movie, I wanted to hear what other people think about it, and I wanted to have that sort of available as a resource. And yeah, to go online and see like nobody talking about a movie, it just feels kind of empty. Another big reason is when people do talk about something, they tend to do best thing ever, worst thing ever, or those comedy teardown reviews. And I don't feel that most stuff is that way. A lot of stuff is somewhere in the middle. A 1 to 5 scale, a lot of people replace those with thumbs up and thumbs down because everyone only uses the 1 and the 5 anyway. But I feel a lot of movies are in the middle, and I want to talk about what they do right, and I want to talk about what they do wrong. But so many people on the platform, this is the worst thing ever, this is garbage. And I feel that those people haven't truly seen garbage, because I've seen some garbage. But I just want to, talk and fairly analyze the movie. So I do want to say, when something's not perfect, but also it's not terrible, I want to bring up those points And I have to say, it's really heartbreaking when you watch a movie, you know, some little movie, and you think it's alright, and then you find like one or two people on YouTube talking about it, and all they're doing is just trashing it, you know, and if it's alright, it's alright, and I feel a lot of things that get torn apart, people say it's the worst movie you've ever seen. Trust me, there are worst movies, and I've seen them. So yeah, I didn't like that trashing attitude, you know? And I wanted to avoid it, you know? But also, one thing, and maybe this isn't super, something you might not think about, is when I review movies, I'm also kind of critical of the reviews themselves. After I put it out, I'm always like, did I linger on this one subject too long? Did I make my thoughts clear enough? Were my ideas organized? Did I ramble, you know? And and then I realize I'm repeating some words and phrases like too often. If you go back and look at my review, the Silent Night, Deadly Night complete DVD collection, those are very extreme and crazy movies towards the end. And in that review, I say the phrase over the top way too often. And I go back and I watch that review now, I'm like, oh gosh, did I really do that? So yeah, I'm kind of critical of my reviews, and I try to, you know, make a list, get my thoughts organized, and present it in a clean fashion. And I usually do an okay job, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, why did I say that? Why did I spend so much time here? And I'm trying to get a good, clean conversation that doesn't really waste, you know, time. And also getting those middle feelings, you know, that's kind of hard. Because, you know, I said I want to keep everything fair. There's some movies that I find are okay, but they have definite faults in them. And that's super hard, because when you have a movie that's like super flawed, but you think it's fine still, you gotta talk about all the flaws and the major clear issues with the movie. But sometimes I do that, and then I feel like I've just ranted on it too hard, and it's like, look, I have all these flaws, but it's really not a bad movie. And then there's some movies that are nice little pleasant surprises. It's kind of the opposite, where I don't think they're the best thing ever, but then I feel my review's a little bit too glowing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I liked it. I didn't really think it was the best thing ever, but I thought it was pretty good. You know, so yeah, trying to get, you know, 2-star reviews and 4-star reviews, it's kind of hard to convey. You know, I did a review for the movie My Bloody Birthday. It's a direct-to-video Italian movie that came out recently. I thought it was a nice, pleasant surprise. It was pretty good, and if you're fans of Italian horror, it's definitely got a lot of throwback moments, but it's not the best thing ever. And I got a lot of comments going, I didn't think this movie was as good as you thought it was, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I didn't phrase it right, you know. So it is harder than you think to get your exact opinion exactly right and communicate that, but I do try to do it right, you know. And then also just the amount of things I cover. There's some weeks where I'm like, oh man, I didn't cover enough stuff, I want to talk about more, and that's always going to be a thing, is I always want to talk about a whole lot. Like, you guys can't see it, this shelf actually goes pretty far that way, and a little bit that way too, and just turning my head slightly, I can see things. American Psycho, haven't talked about that yet. Hills Run Red, that was a good one, haven't talked about that. Hatchet, Wolf Creek, there's so many movies I want to talk about, even big things it's crazy I haven't talked about yet. Ghostbusters, Reanimator, The Shining, there's so many things I want to do, and I just have to tell myself, give it time, keep chugging along, you don't have them yet, but you'll eventually talk about this stuff if you just keep going. And I upload 6 videos a week, every day but Monday, and I'll eventually get to that stuff. It's just going to be some weeks where I feel like I haven't talked about enough, and I really want to talk about more, but I have to stop myself. I'll I'll upload double videos sometimes, especially if it's near a holiday and I'm trying to do a little celebration. But I have to say, okay, if you can make an extra video, you know, don't just upload a bunch in a random frantic, you know. Sometimes I feel like I want to do that. If you have extra energy and you make extra videos, there will be times later where you are tired, where you are busy, and you don't have time to shoot. So don't just spam them all out at once. Keep them and release them in a nice orderly schedule. But I mean, there are times where, like the biggest things that I cover on here, I do a ton of zombie movies, I do a ton of slasher movies, and I do a ton of Hammer Films movies. But there are times when I'm like, wait, I haven't talked about a slasher movie in a couple weeks, or I haven't talked about a zombie movie in a couple months, you know, and it is kind of picking the stuff and making sure that you're covering all these different things. And yeah, I just have to remind myself that when it's on YouTube, it's gonna be there, so I don't have to constantly be obsessing over making sure I just get everything out at once, you know, because in the future it will have all been out, so don't overwork yourself now. But anyway, there is a ton of stuff I really want to cover, and I'm looking forward to watching and covering. But yeah, it just takes time to come out. But ideally, the goal would be covering this entire shelf as far as it goes. But anyway, there will be more videos. As soon as I can get to watching and recording, I'll post more. And hopefully, over time, I'll build this giant library of reviews, which is kind of my end goal, you know, is to just have a giant library. But anyway, I hope this wasn't too rambly, and I hope it made sense. And I hope you enjoyed. I know this is kind of a different video, but seriously, thank you. Most of my interactions on YouTube have been positive, and I really want to give you guys a huge thanks. So to everyone who's liked and subscribed, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This will probably be my Zach's Thoughts playlist, which is where I put my more looser, talky reviews in there. So if you want to see me talk about more random things, those will be on the bottom. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.